weekend, Muslim officials spotted the crescent moon, meaning for many countries, today is the start of the holy fasting month, Ramadan. Many of the world's 1.8 billion Muslims celebrate by not eating or drinking from sunrise to sunset. It's a time for religious reflection, family get-togethers, and a whole lot of giving. Ramadan happens on the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, and the exact dates switch every year, much like the Christian Easter. And here in the Quad Cities, there's a very vibrant Muslim community that's now celebrating. Here to chat about this is Lisa Killinger, Outreach Coordinator for the Quad City Islamic Center. Lisa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, blessed Ramadan to you.
Thank you so much.
That brings up my first question. How do you wish a happy Ramadan to someone?
Just as you did. Blessed Ramadan is really how we say Ramadan Mubarak, and that means blessings for Ramadan. So that's the best way.
Well, I touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but what does Ramadan celebrate?
It celebrates, or actually it's a time of prayer and reflection, and also fasting from sunup to sundown, and also introspection, trying to improve ourselves.
And part of that fasting, like you said, sunup to sundown means some pretty big meals right before sunrise and right after sunset. Talk about those. What are those called?
Those are, the morning is suhoor. We have a small meal. We're supposed to not get too crazy and not to eat too much. We're supposed to remember what it's like to be hungry. So we eat a simple meal. Some people don't do that. They eat more. But we eat a simple meal. It might just be some milk, some toast, some oatmeal or something simple, whatever you can eat at 5 o'clock in the morning. Most people aren't too hungry at 5 a.m. And then we do a prayer, and then we don't eat or drink anything until the sun sets. Then we'll have dates and water. That's what's traditional. And around the world, people usually have dates and water, but many cultures have different ways of breaking their fast. And then after we do some prayers, we'll have our evening meal. And that is when you're starting to get hungry. So we'll eat then, whatever the culture allows, yeah.
You were saying that here in the Quad Cities specifically, you guys eat a lot of Indian food?
Absolutely. We have a very vibrant Indo-Pakistani community, and so we'll sometimes cater in from those restaurants or make potluck, and we get the best Indian food. Other times we eat other food from around the world, and it's wonderful when people bring foods from their culture, because we have maybe 40 or 50 countries represented in the Quad Cities in our Muslim community, very diverse.
Wow. Well, we can't talk about Ramadan this year without mentioning, like we said earlier in the show, about what's happening over in Palestine. So many Muslim leaders across the world have been calling this a time of mourning, pointing out what a horrific condition it is for worshipers in Palestine, in Gaza. I mean, I can only imagine this is weighing heavy on your mind as well.
Absolutely. If one part of our faith community is suffering, of course the whole community suffers, and that would be the same as well for the Jewish community or Christian community. Anyone would feel the same, but our community has suffered. A lot of family members have been lost, and also we're just so sad to see the suffering there. So we always make prayers for a swift end ceasefire in Gaza that is lasting, so that they can go back and rebuild.
Yeah, you talk about those family connections, and that brings up a really good point. Like you mentioned earlier, the local Islamic community is incredibly diverse. How many countries, even off the top of your head, can you think of?
Well, I know at least we have 2 mosques, one in Moline and one in Bettendorf, and I think the Moline Mosque is a little bit more diverse, with members about 40, 45 countries. And then when I go to our events in the Bettendorf Mosque, it might be 20 or 25, sometimes even 30 countries that are represented. Think about being a pastor of that community.
Wow.
It's really an adventure, and so many cultures that come together.
Wow. Well, Lisa, I want to say, have a blessed Ramadan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
And for you guys at home, we have even more resources breaking down Ramadan and the ways it's celebrated across the world on our website right now. You just have to click on the As Seen on TV tab.